everybody, it's Martha. Thank you for joining me in my Shabby Craft studio. I very much appreciate you being here. I was tagged by Gayle Agostinelli, hi Gayle, in the 10 Crafty Questions challenge. I very much appreciate you tagging me, Gayle. You brought me a ton of subbies, and I really, really appreciate that. I don't know how I'll ever thank you enough. Okay. So these are the questions. I won't keep you too long because I don't lead that exciting a life. So we'll get this over with. My name is Martha Manigros. I was born Martha Jane Wilson in Rochester, New York. I now live in Virginia. Husband was in the Army. We met on May 1st. We got married on June 6th, 1975. Yes, we met and married in the same year. He was in the Army, and we landed in Virginia during his last station, and because this is where our kids are and our grandchildren, our beautiful granddaughters, this is where we are. Moving on. My YouTube name, how it came about. Well, you know, it's Martha Manigros. What am I going to say? I have always struggled with coming up really good names, and I couldn't figure out a really good name, and I started my YouTube channel before I came up with my current business name, and I have now grown, thank you Gayle, to over 500 subscribers since Gayle challenged me in this challenge. I was at a little over 300, and now I'm at a little over 500, and so now I can't change my name because, you know, then I'd lose all my subbies and I'm not starting over again. So that was a pretty easy one to answer. My favorite craft. Well, I have done so many things in my life. I don't even know if I could tell them all to you. I have done a lot. I have embroidered, crocheted, knit, weave, spin yarn, wool into yarn. I have made greeting cards. I do a lot of photography. I have cross-stitched, too hard on my eyes anymore, too slow for me. And I don't even know if I can tell you everything I've done. I've made candles. I have done paper mache. I have made jewelry. I have done so many things. And I'll be honest, I have done them for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months maybe. And I move on. I've always moved on. I have now found making junk journals and making ephemera folders and doing anything with paper, glue, ink, and fabric. I have totally fallen in love with the junk journal world. I have never stuck with anything this long. It's been a year now, and I just haven't stuck with anything this long before. And it combines all of the things I love to do. I forgot to mention that I've made quilts and wall hangings. I sew. I've sewn my woven cloth into garments. I've made jackets out of woven cloth that I made. But this is what I love. And I don't see me ever giving this up as long as I can still do it. So this is my absolute favorite craft, and every day I can't wait to get up and get into my little studio and do more. I have so many ideas. I watch so many of our favorite people, and I just can't wait to make more things. Favorite place to buy supplies. I do a lot of bargain hunting for supplies, mostly from Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I don't go to Joann's and AC Moore as much anymore because they're just not carrying the things I want. Dollar Tree, sometimes Target, and I use a lot of junk mail and stuff like that. So that's probably my Hobby Lobby, because I love to find things on clearance or on sale, and Dollar Tree probably are my two favorite. Sometimes Walmart. Top favorite YouTube channels. Really? 5? Like, I think I have 95 YouTube channels in my playlists, and I think 85 of those are crafting ones. So how am I supposed to come up with top 5? So here's I did make a little list. Gayle Agostinelli is my number 1. I feel like we are related, long lost relatives somehow. Hi Gayle. Gina at Firefly Studio, Rachel at Roxy Creations, Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures, Nick the Booksmith, Artie Mays, Andrea Allen, hi, and Tracy Fox. Hi, Tracy. There are more. There are many, many more, but I think these people that I listed are the ones that I've learned the most from. So they are probably my mentors, and I appreciate each and every one of them. My favorite colors. My favorite colors are any shade of purple and any shade of blue. Period. Favorite tools. That's a really hard one to answer. I love my bone folder, but I also love this little silicone spatula that I got in a Chick-fil-A Happy Meal. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting down here in the basement is really bad. There we go. Chick-fil-A. Yeah, strangely enough. I really love those. Of course, I love my Tim Holtz Zero Center ruler because measuring in numbers are really not my thing. So you have regular on that side and zero center on that side. That has made my life a lot easier. And I will tell you that this, if you've watched a recent video of mine, that this foam block has changed my world when it comes to binding my folios and my journals. Just to let you know that there is a video that tells you why, and you are more than welcome. It's a very recent video. You can go back and look at that and figure out why. I have this Fiskars paper cutter, and strangely enough, I can't give this paper cutter up. It is my favorite paper cutter. It's the first one I grab. If I have really, really heavy chipboard, or I have glued 2 file folders together and I want to cut them, this baby is what you want to use. This thing is heavy duty, it's huge, and it'll cut through chipboard. It takes a little effort to get it going, but it's a self-sharpening blade, and it's a monster, but it's so useful that I really, really, really love it. And probably my next favorite thing is my Tim Holtz retractable pokey tool, all whatever you want to call it, because if we are traveling, I cannot kill myself with this thing. Yeah. So those are probably my favorite tools, I would say, besides my iPad, because I make my videos on my iPad and I watch videos on my iPad, and my sewing machine. I have to add in my sewing machine and my lights. Although my lighting here in the basement stinks since I moved down here. I'm struggling with lighting, but that's that. Okay. Where did you get your love of crafts? I have no idea. Maybe my mother. I don't know. I had a lot of family issues growing up, so I couldn't really tell you. I do know that for the next question, when did you start crafting? I think I came out of the womb crafting. I have always, like always since the day I can remember being conscious of my life, wanted to put things together. When I was young, my mother did sew, and so I would go in and take pieces of fabric. I learned how to do, I don't even know how I learned to do embroidery, but embroidery floss was like 10 cents for a little skein of it. So I would go to Woolworths and buy embroidery floss. And when I was a teenager, I would embroider my jeans because, you know, it was the 70s. We had bell bottoms and I could embroider all over it. I embroidered on my denim jacket. I would sew patches on my denim jacket. I didn't have a lot of freedom as far as money and stuff when I was growing up. So I would make purses for high school. And I would sit and hand sew from fabric that my mom had left over. I would hand sew purses together in little teeny tiny stitches. And to this day, my favorite thing to do is to sit and stitch by hand. I haven't started the slow stitching craze yet. I want to. It's just I haven't done it. I don't know why, but that's going to be another craft that I'm going to pick up, but it's going to be incorporating into my journal making. I know that for a fact. But my father worked for Kodak, so we always had Kodak cameras at home, and I became very interested in photography. And he would also bring paper home. And when the paper rolls were almost used up and they would take them off the rollers that they used them on, he would bring that leftover roll home, and that thing had to be 4 feet long, and I was a very small child, and I would just use paper for everything. I would just make all kinds of things out of paper. And I also figured out how to make candles when I was a teenager, and I had my little hot pot in the basement, and I would stay down there for hours making candles, mixing colors, and doing that kind of stuff. So I have always been a handcrafter. I was never really good in school as far as education-wise. I had a hard time conceiving certain things, especially math. We won't even go there. But art class for me in high school was the only reason I stayed in school, I think. Excuse me. So, yeah, I very much loved art. I remember in 6th grade, our teacher did several things with us. We learned how to silkscreen. We learned how to weave baskets out of reeds. And I made a beautiful centerpiece for our table for Thanksgiving. And I also learned how to do macrame, and we had to find something unusual to use to hang our macrame on to make the macrame part. And I chose the back of a chair, those chairs that have the round, they're like a sweetheart back, I think they were called. And the inside rung of that wooden chair was curved, and I made a macrame wall hanging on that. And I was told, I don't know if this really happened, but my teacher took it and said that there was some sort of art thing that they were taking photographs of all this art from kids around the country in schools. And this thing was going to go around the country and do tours. I never saw my wall hanging again. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe she liked it enough to take it. I have no clue. That was a long time ago. I was 12. I'm 63 now. But anyway, so I've always been a handcrafter. I can't draw. I can't even draw a stick figure right. I cannot paint very well. I can splash paint on a page, but I can't paint a picture. And I've always been envious of those people who can draw and paint. But give me something to do with my hands, and I'm all over it. I absolutely love doing that. So that's that was the long version of when did I start crafting. Ever since I could breathe, I think. And then what has been my favorite craft so far? Definitely. In fact, that I have that repeated, so I don't know. I don't know if that's how the questions went. I may have messed this up. My favorite craft by far is definitely making journals and making the ephemera folios that I've been making. So that is my 10 crafty questions. I tried to find the originator of these questions, so I don't know if I've got the questions right or not. Like I said, I think this repeats that one, so I don't know if that's how they went or not. But I am going to tag 2 people in this next to do this next. One is Joyful Michelle. She is a really sweet lady, and she does some really nice videos, and she is a friend of Gayle's. She has actually met our Gayle in person, and she has 359 subscribers. So go on over to her channel, check her out, and if you like her, give her a thumbs up and subscribe to her. Tell her I sent you. The other one I just found, she's only got 5 or 6 videos out right now, but boy, she is really, really excellent. She's got a great voice, unlike my own. She's really good at teaching how to do something simple, and it comes out really nice. And she's only got 126 subscribers. So go check her out. The links will be at the bottom of this video in the description box. The description box, in case you don't know, is the little arrow like this that's below the video on the right hand side. And it's a little black arrow that points down like this. Your video box is up here, and this little arrow is there. That's your description box. And I will link these ladies in that description box, and I hope you go see them. And I appreciate you joining me here. I don't know. This probably wasn't very interesting, but that's okay. I wanted to complete the challenge because Gayle put it out there. She's also sort of subconsciously challenged me to something else that I plan on working on. So we'll see how that goes and whether I can share it with you or not. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, thank you. I love you all. I love you. Please come back again. Hope this didn't bore you enough to have you stop watching me. So take care. Have yourself a wonderful crafty day, and I will be back soon. Love you guys. Bye.